Hello there. This box arrived on Tuesday. This bigger box arrived on Monday. My Star Wars figures have arrived. Let's open these boxes and see what I bought, shall we? I know that not everybody likes the Star Wars retro figures by Hasbro. They have limited articulation, they lack the details of the vintage collection, and even the coloring of them is somewhat simplistic compared to some of the vintage figures. I get all that. But I collect them because number one, they're Star Wars action figures. Number two, well, they remind me of the early Star Wars action figures from the late 70s and early 80s. Those had limited articulation. They were very simplistic figures, but kids had fun with them. And of course, number three, they're less expensive than vintage figures. Currently, I think if you bought single retro figures, they'd probably be like $12.99 a piece. Wasn't that long ago they were $10.99 a piece, so they've been creeping up again. Thanks, Hasbro. But you look at the vintage figures, they're approaching 20 bucks a piece now. In fact, the deluxe ones are getting $25 or more. So yeah, there is a niche for these. There is a reason that Hasbro keeps making these. And they must be selling somewhat because they do keep coming out with new sets. Let's take a look at some of these sets and see what they actually look like. After, I invite you to like this video, share it with your friends, and of course, hit that subscription button and maybe even the bell so that you're notified when more videos come out. The first one I have here, I actually bought a while ago. I just haven't had a good opportunity to show it on one of the videos. And now that I have a few extra ones here, we're going to open this one up. And yes, I am going to open this box. We are not just going to look at this box and say, look at this, yippee. No, I want to open these and find out. I know, not my usual thing, but we're going to make it a usual thing for this video. Now, I'm going to open the box to take the figures out. I'm not going to open the figures. I am still a in-the-box collector, per se, so the figures are going to stay carded. I'm not going to open those up. But I want to see what the figures actually look like outside of the picture on the box. So we'll take these out, and we'll take a look at them. Now this first box, like I said, I've had this sitting around a while here. And this is, oh, what's this? This is the Phantom Menace collection. And the 6 figures we have here are Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Queen Amidala, Darth Maul, Jar Jar Binks, and a battle droid. So let's take a look at what these figures actually do look like. The first one on the pile here is Qui-Gon Jinn. And the first thing I noticed, and maybe you've noticed it already too, they're unpunched. These cards are unpunched cards. I don't have very many unpunched card figures, so it's kind of nice to see that. Well, anyway, let's take a look at Qui-Gon Jinn. As we can see, the card is really cool. I do like the way they do the vintage cards. Yes, they do have that old school look where it looks like the paper's been torn and scratched and things like that. That's okay with me. And it does have that big retro collection sticker on it, which I kind of wish the sticker was smaller, but that's the way it is. We can't really change it. I know there are some of you out there that actually remove the stickers, but you know, I kind of like them on there because it is a retro figure. I like it stating that it's retro. Yeah, I might be in the minority, but I don't care. It's my collection. I'll do what I want. Let's look at the figure a little bit better. We do see he comes with the one-colored lightsaber. The hilt, the lightsaber, everything is colored green. So, like I said, retro, and that's the way they were way back then too. And I noticed this lightsaber is a very short lightsaber, not very long at all. As far as the figure of Qui-Gon goes, it's actually not a bad likeness as far as the facial sculpt. It does kind of look like the character of Qui-Gon by Liam Neeson. We have a cloth robe, and of course the rest of it is just sculpted into the plastic. And I think as far as the retro figures go, I can't quite see it on this one, but if I remember correctly, you can turn the head on the neck, you can move the shoulders, you can move the legs at the hip, might or might not be able to turn the hands. And that's it. That's all the articulation you get. The back of the card basically has a lot of gobbledygook on it that I suppose they have to put on there, legalese, you know. And that does have the 6 figures that are part of this particular series. There we have it, Qui-Gon Jinn. The next one kind of goes right along with Qui-Gon, and that is the young Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi. Once again, the big sticker on it. The figure itself, yep, this one we can see the articulation. Moving legs at the hip, we have moving arms at the shoulder, and we have a turning head. As far as the figure itself goes, we have a blue lightsaber, once again, blue in color from hilt to blade. We have, actually it's pretty good sculpt of the robes for being a very simplistic figure. And the face kind of looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Almost looks generic, but it's on the card for Obi-Wan Kenobi, so it has to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? It looks a little like Ewan McGregor. And we'll leave it at that. The next one we have here is Darth Maul. And actually, Darth Maul looks pretty good in a retro figure. Everything's black. You don't have to worry about coloring and so forth. Darth Maul has his double-edged lightsaber, or double-bladed. And as you can see, everything on that lightsaber is reddish color. Actually, the face is not bad. It's actually a pretty decent face. Doesn't have all the detail that you see from the picture to the head of the figure, but still, it's a good likeness of Darth Maul. You can have a lot of fun with these two battling this one in your own adventures, I would say. Then, of course, we have the Battle Droid. Yep, you got to buy lots and lots of these to make an army. One thing with the Battle Droid, as we can see, it comes with a rifle, or I should say a pistol, a black pistol. And as far as the Battle Droid itself goes, just one solid color all the way through, except where the eyes are. The eyes are the only thing that's a different color on this figure. But as far as looking at it, it looks like this particular figure, it does have some movement, possibly at the elbows. I can't quite tell, but it might have movement at the elbows, which would be kind of a nice addition for a retro figure in the collection. The next one we have is, I know this is a lot of your favorites, and that is Jar Jar Binks. This one's a little heavier than some of the other ones, and probably because Jar Jar is a little bit bigger. For some reason, Jar Jar comes with a pistol. Tell the truth, I don't remember Jar Jar using a pistol in the movies. The coloring is not bad for Jar Jar. It's actually looking pretty good here. The sculpt is not bad for a retro figure. The facial sculpt looks really good. I do like that. So there we have Jar Jar Binks. And of course, the last one in the collection is our princess, or our queen, Amidala. Looking at this one, she doesn't come with any accessories, and probably because when we look at the robe she's wearing, there's a decent amount of detail in that robe for a retro figure. The facial sculpt is pretty good. That actually looks really good when you look at the picture and compare that to the head here. I'd say as far as this 6-part retro collection goes, hey, I give it a thumbs up. It looks great. These figures are good. They actually look probably a little better than the figures from 40 years ago. Now let me get these put away, and we're going to open these 2 boxes and see what I got this week. Okay, let's open the small box first and see what we got here. And yes, these should be retro figure collections again. More 6-packs of retro figures. And I was hoping this would be the first one, and it is. We had the Phantom Menace here. Well, now we have Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Unfortunately, they only did 3 from each movie. I think they could have easily done 6 from each movie and made more figures to sell. Oh well. By doing this, they're saving me and other collectors money. And for some reason, there is a batch of tape on the back of this box, which luckily I'm able to able to get off without wrecking things here. This set of figures includes Mace Windu, Jango Fett, and Padme Amidala from Attack of the Clones. And from Revenge of the Sith, we have Anakin Skywalker, General Grievous, and a clone trooper. Yes, I'm going to open this box too because I want to see what the figures actually do look like. Once again, I notice these are also unpunched as far as the hook to hang them. So the first one we have is Padme Amidala. And I have to say, I do like buying them in the multi-packs like this. Granted, you're buying 6 at one time. And I think I paid about 60 bucks for this set, which I don't mind because you take 60 divided by 6 and it's only 10 bucks a figure instead of the $12.99 that they are now. But one reason I like them in the boxes too is the cards are pretty good. You can see it's a little bit warped, but not bad really. But otherwise the cards are in really good shape. So I like that. Let's take a look at Padme Amidala here. She has a pistol there, and I hate to say it, but the first thing I thought of when I saw this pistol, it looks like something from the Jetsons TV show. What do you think? Do you agree with me on that? As far as the figure goes, she does have a shawl that's cloth. And as far as the coloring of the figure goes, pretty simplistic, but of course they picked an outfit that she wears that really didn't have a whole lot of color. As far as the facial sculpt, I have to give this one a thumbs down. I do not like the sculpture on the face there. It looks very generic, shall we say. But there we have Padme Amidala. And Padme is not going to stand on her own. The next one, also from Attack of the Clones, is Jango Fett. And when we look at this, here again, the card really got warped back a little bit. It's not bent per se. There's not a crease or anything, but it is warped a bit going back. Looking at the figure, he comes with 2 pistols, both of them gray in color, and that could be because in the movie he had kind of a silver pistol that he was using. As far as the figure itself goes, it actually looks pretty decent. But the way they've got him painted and sculpted there looks pretty good. I do think this is a good looking figure, but correct me if I'm wrong, but does the helmet on the head there, or the head, does it look a little bit small for the body? That's just kind of a first impression I have with this one. It looks like it's a little bit off as far as scaling goes. They did something different with this. I think the bubble is a little higher here because these are not standing on their own, which is kind of a shame. So I'm going to have to lay it down. The next one is Mace Windu, also from Attack of the Clones. The facial sculpt on Mace Windu looks a lot better than Padme's. Granted, it doesn't quite look like Samuel Jackson, but not too bad. Does come with a cloth cape, as you can see. And he's got his purple lightsaber, including a purple hilt on the purple lightsaber. Good figure there. And is he going to stand? Of course not. We'll just have to lay him down too. Of course, the next 3 are going to be from Revenge of the Sith. And the first one, you almost have to have Anakin Skywalker. Yep, he's got to be part of this little collection. The card, just a slight bow to it. Not very bad at all. As far as the figure goes, he does come with his, I guess, bluish lightsaber. The sculpt of the body, not bad, pretty decent. He does have his mechanical hand here. And as far as the facial sculpt goes, I have to kind of put it in the same category as Padme's. It's okay. It's not great. So there is Anakin Skywalker. The next one we have is the Clone Trooper. It's kind of nice to see a Clone Trooper in the set. I like the purple behind him. It really makes the Clone Trooper stand out a little bit more. And as far as the figure goes, it's a basic Clone Trooper. Comes with a black pistol, which is kind of nice to see again. And here again, it looks like the head is off a little bit. And the painting of the helmet on this particular figure is not real great. It's kind of a very poorly done job. But the body looks great. What do you think? Do you agree with me that the painting on the helmet there was not the greatest? Of course, the third one from Revenge of the Sith would be General Grievous. And General Grievous comes with 4 lightsabers, 2 blue, 2 green. He's got 4 arms, of course, and it looks like the arms do come apart so that you can extend them and have all 4 lightsabers going at one time. As far as the figure itself goes, well, he's an android, basically. So the sculpting is done pretty well for General Grievous. I'd say done quite well for a retro figure collection. What do you think of General Grievous? So there we have 3 from Attack of the Clones and 3 from Revenge of the Sith. I'd say overall, pretty good collection. Like I say, a couple of the head sculpts, not so great. But other than that, good collection. We'll get these out of the way and take a look at the last set of retro figures I have. Okay, now, this box also contains a 6-pack of retro figures. Same size as the other boxes. So I guess my question is, why did one set come in a box this size and the other one come in a box this size? I am almost afraid to see if the box here got beat up or not during shipping. Hopefully not. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of packaging in here, but the box looks okay. So let's get this out of the way. And I know you guys are really waiting to see this one because so many of you love the TV series. And yes, I am being sarcastic because this is the Acolyte. Yes, I know. I bought the figures from the Acolyte. Why did I do that? I'm not quite sure. But I did like a couple of the characters. And which characters are involved in this one? Well, we have Mother Anicia, and forgive me if I get the names wrong. I watched it once, didn't really pay real close attention to the names of the characters. We have Jedi Knight Yord Fandar. We've got May in her assassin gear. Jedi Master Soul, Osha Anesia, and Jedi Padawan Jackie Lon. Like I said, there are 2 figures here that I really bought this for. And that would be for Jedi Knight Yord Fandor and Jedi Padawan Jackie Lon. I thought those characters were some of the most interesting characters from this particular TV show. Now, let's see what these figures look like. Once again, we do have the 6 figures, so that's kind of nice. Oh, I opened it from the other side this time. All right. Let's see what we have here. The first one is Osha Anicia. At least I hope I'm saying that right. And let's look at this figure. The card, first of all, really nice and straight. And again, unpunched. So I'm liking that they're unpunched. The figure comes with her little droid unit and a pistol. As far as the body sculpt, I'd say they did a pretty good job on the body again. Just the 5 points of articulation again. As far as the head sculpt, I give it a C. But it's a retro figure. What more can you expect out of it? Will this one stand? No. Okay, we've got Osha. So now we have to have May, right? And this, of course, is May in her assassin gear, which is what we see through the first few episodes. As far as accessories go, it looks like she comes with 2 knives or 2 daggers, whatever you want to call it. The cape on her is just a plastic cape. It is not a cloth cape on this one, probably because it's purple in color. As far as the facial sculpt goes, well, it's hard to see the face because she's wearing a mask. Otherwise, the figure looks pretty decent for a retro figure. Card, a little bit warped on that one. But I have a feeling if I would actually take them and put them in a case, I could straighten that out. So there is May. The next one we have here is Master or Jedi Master Saul. You don't get to see a whole lot of Jedi Master Saul here because he is pretty much completely wrapped up in his cloth cape. He does come with his blue lightsaber. The facial sculpt here, I'd say it actually looks a little better than some of the other ones. We'll give this one a B. So there we have it. Jedi Master Saul. The next one is Jedi Padawan Checky Lawn. We can see again, the top of the card is bowed a bit. But like I say, it's not creased, and I think we could straighten that out if we tried. As far as the figure goes, I like this figure. This one actually looks better than the other ones. She comes with a green lightsaber. We've got a cloth cape again. But when we look at the head sculpt, I'd say there is more detail in this one. And of course, she's got the horns coming out of the top of her head. But even the face seems to be done better than some of the other action figures. I'd say out of these figures so far, I like this one the best. Next, we have Mother Anicia. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I might have to go back and actually watch the show again just so I know how to say it. I don't know if I'm going to do that. As far as the figure goes, actually this one is probably the best one of the batch so far. A lot of detail. I like the way the hair has been curled around the neck and hangs down the front. The facial sculpt is done very well on this one. At least I think it's done really well. What do you think? And the last one is one of the ones that I kind of wanted. And now that I see it, I don't think I really wanted it that bad. And that would be Jedi Knight Yord Thandar. When we look at this one, we see he comes with a yellow lightsaber and cloth cape again going around it, so you can't really see the action figure. I wish they'd leave the capes open a little bit so you could actually see things. But as far as the facial sculpt goes, I'm sorry, but this is not a very good likeness of the actor who plays him. Yes, he's got the dark hair with the hairstyle. Yes, he's got the dark eyelashes and so forth. But the sculpt of the face itself doesn't match very well to the actor. So this is one of the ones I wanted out of this set, and I've kind of been let down on this one. So as far as these 6 figures go, I have to say the 2 best ones are these 2 right here. What do you think? Well, there we go. We've got the 3 sets of retro figure multi-packs, if you want to call them that. 3 sets of 6. For some reason, the box on the Phantom Menace is bigger than the other 2, which is why the stack is higher. Plus, a couple of these figures, I think, might... Yeah, if you look at it here, you can see the bubbles are a little bigger on some of these. So they must have designed the figures a little bit to fit the bubbles better, or... Yeah, there's plenty of space behind them. You look at Obi-Wan here, there's a lot of space behind him in the bubble. So that explains, too, why the box is bigger, because the bubbles are bigger. Like I said, I know not everybody is really hyped up on the retro figures, and I totally understand why. A couple of these figures actually bring that point to light pretty well, that they're not done as well as the retro figures. But then again, there was a couple that were done really well. So, I have 3 more sets to add to the other multi-packs that I have, and plus all the ones I bought individually that came out earlier. What do you think? Do you collect the retro figures, or do you stay away from them? Leave a comment below and let me know how you feel about the retro collection. Like I said, they remind me of the original action figures from 40 years ago, which is one reason I'm collecting them. And yes, it is nice to see some different characters getting their due in action figures, at least this way. Because sometimes I think there's almost more retro figures coming out for some of these different shows than there is vintage collection figures. I don't know. I don't know who does the marketing and who does the deciding at Hasbro, or if Disney's way involved in this thing. Who knows? Well, that brings me to an end for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit that like button down below and let me know that you've enjoyed this video. And of course, share it with your friends. It's nice to see the numbers go up on these things a little bit. I did notice the last video did not get very many views, so it must have been something that most of you did not care about. If you do care about it, go back and watch it and raise it up a little bit more. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notifications bell so that you're notified when more videos come out. Well, until next time, may the Force be with you and keep collecting!